Hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Play Dishonored, the Brigmore Witches with FrozenFoxy. Last time we left off, we learned that Billy was not quite on our side, and that was ages ago. So, we're gonna get into this and check it out. It looks like we can continue our game, too. That's kind of cool. Yes, we will go with low chaos still. Alright, and we'll put it on the highest level. Huh. Master Assassin. I don't remember Master Assassin being a thing. I think Elite was the highest of the high. This must be something new. Anyway, we'll go with it. I don't know what it has to overwrite. It's the first time I've ever played this.
He knew. The black-eyed bastard knew that when my blade stilled the Empress's heart and delivered her daughter to the Lord Regent's men, everything would fall to pieces. He watched me do it anyway. And now the world's gone mad. Plague grinds the city down. Corruption rots. A mad killer roams the streets by night, seeking revenge. The overseers have stormed my hideout in the flooded district. And I'm in a strange duel with a mad witch named Delilah for the fate of the Empire. I'd say I was being punished, but I know that the world doesn't punish wicked people. We make our choices and take what comes. And the rest is void. I can't say I wasn't warned. The men are recovering well from the attack, but they don't understand the danger they're in. My mother warned me never to make an enemy of a witch. Corvo, here to settle our debt. You understand, I won't make this easy for you.
Whoa. I guess we're in a battle here. This is probably not going to go off very well, so I have never really battled in this game. Whoa, where did he even go? Whoa, holy shit, dude. No thanks. Can I even kill this guy? I don't think I can. No thanks. I don't think it's possible. Oh shit. Wow. I guess it is possible.
What is it?
Thomas has returned with the information you requested. He's waiting for you below.
That had to be a dream, because Corvo, as far as I know, does defeat Dowd, not the other way around. That would be wrong, I think. What we got in here? Money. We've got Port of Call. Excerpt from a guide to port cities across the Empire of the Isles. Potterstead, Bristol, a small town, but the locals are charming and the ale is unmatched. Be certain to visit during the month of winds for their Penat Festival. Dunwall, Bristol. Notes on the capital city could fill a dozen such volumes. All delights exist in Dunwall if you've got the coin. And all misery if you're broke, unless you're well connected through some in the Dunwall Tower, one of the key families, the City Watch, or the River Patrol. Make sure your permits are in order, otherwise you're likely to have your cargo seized by the port authorities for any reason they care to concoct. Cockney Morley. While the harbor master here is particular about the kinds of goods you're carrying, the rest of the town is more lax. Be sure to visit the Inn on the Rock for the best mutton stew in all the Isles. Tibia. The cold here will snatch the breath from your lungs, but it is met in equal strength by the civility of its well-mannered citizens. The cozy taverns are kept warm by their famously crafted iron stoves, though the northern food takes some adjustment. Bejeweled aristocrats laugh and drink side by side with weathered, leathery-skinned farmers, clapping one another on the back until the dim hours. It is hard to make a friend here or to truly understand the world view of the native-born, but once you do, you'll have a friend for life. Calero, Circanos. This city is crowded in warmer months, and for a good reason. You'll find yourself shoulder to shoulder with scantily clad locals and foreigners on holiday, pale skin burned pink by the sun, which somehow seems larger and brighter in Circanos. The food in Calero is a shining example of Circonan cuisine, and there is always music, always dancing. Hand-rolled on the steps of tobacco shops, the cigars are, of course, fresher than the ones you've had shipped to other parts of the empire. Karnaca, Circanos, the jewel of the south, at the edge of the world. The city is bustling with industry after a wave of settlers from Morley and an influx of wealthy trading companies from Dunwall. Everywhere you go in Karnaca, there are new ideas, hybrid forms of music, groundbreaking theories of natural philosophy, and even extravagant delicacies made by mixing ingredients from all the known cultures. The locals work tirelessly for their coin, welcoming the elite from across the isles. Alright, so we've got our first bone charm here. Powerful charms that will come with a cost. Locate them like normal bone charms by listening for the song they emit or with the void gaze power. Equip them in the bone charm tab of the journal. Corrupted, huh? So this is new. Interesting. Oh, wow. I apparently have a whole bunch of bone charms currently. I guess this is from our previous save. I should look through these and see which ones I want to equip here. Benefit. While standing, you cannot be seen by enemies unless they are in combat with us. Mana does not regenerate is the penalty. But that's only while standing. Probably if I'm walking, then they can see me. Spirit Water plus Static? I don't know. I have no idea how that's status-esque. Something like that. Anyway, statuesque is actually what it is. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. But this might come in handy along with Spirit Water. I don't care about that. This could be helpful. Don't want it. Gives me health when drinking from fountains. That's kind of cool. That would not work with this. Adrenaline, don't care. Food. Health increase. Swift shadow. Slightly faster in stealth mode. That's definitely a good one. No. No. I think I might want statuesque. That seems like a pretty good one. So we do not have bend time here. I feel like we had runes left over and I didn't spend them last time or something. So I feel like bend time was upgraded all the way. It must have taken an earlier save or something. That's okay. I can deal with what we've got going here. And I'm sure we can increase our powers later on. Supposed to prepare for my trip. Overseers assaulted our hideout last time. Tipped off by the witch Delilah Copperspoon. Now we're preparing to retaliate. I've only got 200 coins right now. I believe that's from what we picked out of the chest. Well, let's see, what do we got going on here? I want that to be 1, 2 for sure. I think I usually put bin time on 6, so I think I'll leave it like that. And we don't have normal stuff here. I usually don't have this on 3, I think I have it on 4. I've got a system, so to speak. Let's check out where this charm is coming from. Rune. It's not a charm. Okay, so there's a couple of runes here. Good to know. And we've also got a book over here. A couple bits of bone. Let's check it out. Excerpt from a journal covering various occult artifacts. They say my mother was a witch, but the truth, as is so often the case, depends on perspective and your place in the world. She relied on poisons made from exotic herbs and the blowfish that live in the reef waters near Pandysia. Her power originated in hallucinogenics delivered through guile or by force to those who crossed her. There was an unusual intensity in her gaze for certain, but it came from within, not from the outsider. It's what happens to anyone pushed to the absolute edge of sanity and survival, who stays there for years, then returns to walk among the sheep in so-called civilized society. My mother was crafty, but if it was anything more than powders, hidden knives, and guile, I never saw it. Like they tell children, some of those truly touched by the black-eyed bastard can move through the space between rooftops like a sparrow. Others command armies of rats or poisonous flies as easy as they wriggle their fingers and toes. The overseers are right to fear us, to warn the common folk to stay near their homes at night and keep their families close. But there are other ways his influence manifests itself. Those who serve me share in some of what I can do, and I suspect it's the same for Delilah Copperspoon's coven. Then there are those who can craft runes and charms. The old woman across town, they call her Granny Rags, she carves and polishes the bones of whales, stringing them together and opening them to the void until they moan like the fever sick on a cold night. I've found a few of her talismans, and with each one I touched, a tiny piece of me departed and settled in with her. What does she gain? A longer life? Some other kind of power I don't understand? The making of such things is beyond me. I've known 4 people in my time who carried the mark of the outsider, but I've known dozens more who wanted it, who stood at night in stagnant ponds or begged with the dust blowing through graveyards. People who gutted farm animals or burned the flesh of men, thinking it would call forth the void. I met a dying man once who had collected runes and charms for years. He crushed them all into powder, made a paste, and ate them, thinking he could gain whatever magic was in the things. His death was long and painful. I also knew a woman from Karnaca who would trade for charms and other bits of whalebone. She cracked them apart and fused them back together, then sold them. I bought one of these corrupted charms that she swore would cause sharp metal to break on my skin, and it worked. But each time it did, one of my teeth turned black and fell out. After the 3rd time, I gave it to one of my men. Now, when he smiles, it's all bleeding gums. I wonder what parts inside him are turning black. Sometimes I ask myself, without these gifts, would I be a man to fear? Would I be called the Knife of Dunwall, with my name whispered through the markets and the alleyways, the high towers and drawing rooms? I'd like to think so, but it really doesn't matter. As long as I bear this mark, I'll use whatever craft I have to force my will on the world. The harder trick is undoing what I've done. So that must be talking about the corrupted charm that I just picked up. Reclamation of Dunwall, excerpt from a pamphlet published in response to the plague. Dunwall, the seat of power in the known civilized world, the Empire of the Isles. It is our great capital, and it has been brought low by vermin. The very thought galls. We are faced with the reality that our once great city is in a state of shambles, and the few remaining domiciles in any habitable condition are the estates of those wealthy enough to ward themselves against that reality. A city cannot continue to thrive, populated by only the upper classes and their cloistered sycophants. Even if the plague were gone tomorrow, in its present state, Dunwall doesn't have enough hardy people of working age to return the city to everyday function. We must find a way to attract more residents, which requires removing the cloud of fear brought about by the current regime. The Lord Regent and his lackeys are bad for business, my friends. So it falls on us. A plague and a tyrant must be overcome. And after that, we must undertake a third miracle, turning the screws on the obscenely wealthy, forcing them to pay back into the place that has given them their privileged lives. It is the powerful and fortunate who must pay for the rebuilding of Dunwall, even if the poorest will bear the stones and timbers of reconstruction on their backs. All this must happen for the dormant machine of commerce to restart. With that, we are all forfeit, or without that, and the greatest city of our age will be lost. Alright. Anything else going on around here? Too bad this doesn't highlight books. That would be kind of nice. Wow, my mouse seems a little jumpy. What is going on with that? Huh. Once the eye is off, it stops being jumpy. Regency and emergency powers. In a time of political upheaval, there are provisions in place for a staged transfer of power, designed with 3 goals in mind. The first is the minimization of incentive for coup. There is no predetermined person or position within the government that is scheduled to take on the mantle of regency during a time of crisis. Instead, a regent is chosen by parliamentary accord. This serves to avoid promoting a path of derelict ascendancy, and to discourage those who would scheme for such a turn of events. It is the assumption of our governing documents that such a legislative body will always have the wisdom to see through would-be usurpers. The second is the assurance of stability for commons during and after the transitional phase. During an interregnum, while a regent rules the land, there are categories of laws and decrees that cannot be altered without a majority vote from Parliament. Thus, daily life for the people will not change dramatically during the time of regency, or shift drastically once a proper heir takes the throne. Third, and perhaps most important, is that a worthy successor is found in order to rule out hasty action and to minimize stability, or maximize stability. We don't want to minimize that. There will be no term limit or duration applied to the period of regency. Historically, rash decisions have been greatly contested, resulting in extended political turmoil or outright conflict. When the proper heir is found and the position is filled by someone worthy of the role, all others will fall in and provide their support. So once Corvo fixes everything up, everything will be good.